I have to say, this thing goes live a lot faster than straight YouTube does.
Yeah.
All right, if you would like to keep the air conditioner running because it am swampish out there, you need to donate here. Every little bit goes to keeping us from poaching in our own sweat.
Yeah, we don't have convertibles and sleeping porches anymore.
Oh, I'm not even sure sleeping porches would be a good idea these days. Oh, if you like coffee, and who doesn't? If you don't, I don't want to hear about it. King Harv's Imperial Coffees at www.kingharv.com. Their coffees are great, especially anything with geisha in the title. However, Ractor Press has its own blend, as do the North Texas Troublemakers. If you order from them, be sure you let them know you heard about it from us, so they'll send us more coffee.
And they have a sale going right now.
They do.
Yep.
Among the Leaves Tees. Everybody, it's summer. You need a Smart Aleck t-shirt. tinyurl.com, Among the Leaves Tees. Friend of ours. Let them know you heard about it from us.
Yeah. And anyway, I put up a post this morning talking about the old convertible gliders and sleeping porches. Growing up, now granted, I'm an old fart, so 50s and 60s, sleeping porches were still a thing, along with convertible gliders. And I had two aunts out here in Texas that more than one night I slept out on the sleeping porch on a glider with just a sheet, because that's all you needed.
Sleeping porch. If you've ever been in a house that's, say, older than the 1930s, there'll be at least one porch or remnants of porch that was screened.
Yeah.
Ours, if you come to our house, the front porch, you can see where the screen used to attach. And that was to keep the bugs off when you were out there sleeping.
Yep.
Because.
And the other thing, which I was reminded of by a couple of people, attic fans.
We still got one.
Turn that damn attic fan on and shit blew everywhere in the house.
No kidding. No kidding.
But they were always in the central hallway, and they had slats. So as soon as you turned them on, all the slats opened, and it blew air out the attic vents at each end of the house.
Oh wow! You would get into old architecture, especially in the South. Now, where we are in Texas, Texas is roughly divided into two zones.
Yeah.
You have the zone that runs pretty much Dallas East, which is the South, or the Deep South. And you have Fort Worth West, which is the Southwest and West.
Yep.
There
is a very distinct line, folks.
Oh, yeah, and it's a very distinct difference. The Southern culture is much different than Southwestern or Western culture. It really is different. But Rita and I and Jim were looking at houses for somebody who was moving here. So they sent a list of houses they wanted somebody to look at. So we're looking at them, and heard Jim laughing his ass off. I walked in there, and there was a door to the outside that was about that wide and about that tall.
Yep. I don't know that house.
Yeah. And it's like, what is that? And it's the haunt door, the haint door.
Yeah.
And it's in the South, and bearing in mind that a lot of our South comes out of Louisiana, especially in East Texas. The East Texas border for Cajuns is a little porous.
Yeah.
So you'll get, if you see and you'll see a lot of front porches with the top of the porch, the ceiling of the porch is painted blue.
Yep.
That's to confuse ghosts.
Yep.
And there are ghost doors, haunt doors.
HAINT.
Yep. For ghosts to leave. That's how ghosts get in and out. And that's a very distinct deep south thing. And it can be a little confusing. It really can.
And Todd brings up another good point. It's the dry line, weather and booze, both.
Yeah, weather, everything.
Because the deep south is very much blue laws.
Oh God, yes. Which are gradually going away, though.
Yeah. And the west and southwest was not.
Not so much. Now, when I was working at Donnelly County, that was a little different. Clarendon in Donnelly County was called Saints Roost by the Cowboys
Mm-hmm.
because it was founded by a Methodist preacher.
Yeah.
And he had thoughts about the demon Rome.
Oh, yeah.
And Clarendon didn't allow booze inside the city limits up until the 2000s. Before they finally voted to allow booze inside the city limits. It was
That they knew about.
well, trust me, having been a deputy sheriff there, yeah. It's called Saints Roost.
Yeah.
That little town had more, still has more churches. Good Lord.
Church on every block.
Pretty much.
The only one I've ever seen that was worse was Naples,
Italy or Texas?
Italy.
Okay.
Catholic, right? Literally, churches on all four corners of an intersection.
Malta's the same way.
Yeah, different Catholic churches. And one of the four would always be the death Catholics. So they always look like, skeletons and, the gargoyles and everything else. Other thing that caught my attention, well, actually two things. One was something that Jonna put up.
Oh, yeah.
Which just friggin' went away. God damn it.
There you go. That's
Anyway,
friggin' Facebook for you.
She put up a post about the number of major firms leaving Oregon. And these are firms that have been there for 60, 70, 80 years.
And these are firms of clout. Like,
Yeah.
What you say, Dutch Brothers Coffee?
Yeah.
All right, Dutch Brothers Coffee it's an engine.
Yeah. And Owens Corning, two of their subsidiaries are closing their plants. The timber industry, because of the eco-Nazis,
So the Proggies.
are shutting down the mills and everything else. So now they're talking about raising taxes again. Specifically, one of the transportation companies in Portland, I believe, is talking about a tax on income to support the transportation in the county.
Well, when you tax big businesses to the point they leave and take their tax base with them, dumbasses.
Yep, and California's already doing it. Seattle's doing it.
I love watching Gavin Newsom crawfishing on the whole evil fossil fuel.
Yeah,
when all those refineries said, "Yep, we're out." Wait. He realized,
too late now.
Yeah, too late now.
The other thing is, he apparently announced yesterday that the rail project will continue, even without the federal money.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, well,
it wouldn't go anywhere with federal money.
I mean, they've built, 100 yards of track, but no rails have been laid in 10 years. Oh, and speaking of laying rail, Colorado is
California East.
They are out of money. They are billions of dollars in the hole because of all the money they're giving to the illegals,
Proggies,
and including Medicare, Medicaid, yada, yada, yada. So when the big, beautiful bill got passed, Colorado decided, well, we have to raise more taxes. However, there is an issue with raising taxes in Colorado. So what they're doing is they're going back in and now trying to put a tax on overtime that the federal government just killed. So it will be interesting to see what happens with that.
Good Lord.
And speaking of that, a friend of mine in Colorado sent me a rather interesting link today to the Cowboy State Daily,
chunky piece of crap,
to a gun that I have literally never even heard of in my life. It's called a Warner Infallible. It was made in Connecticut between 1917 and 1919. It was semi-automatic, quote, and it was $11.75 to by it. It was 32 ACP,
Of course it was.
which most of the guns back in that day were. It is so ugly, it's interesting.
That is a fugly pistol.
Very much so.
I think now that I see the fugly piece of it, actually, I think I've seen it before. I wouldn't carry it on a dare.
I've never even seen one. I'd never heard of one until he sent me the link this morning.
That is a fugly.
However, don't fire it. Apparently, the last time this particular gun was fired, it went full auto and emptied the clip.
And ATF went,
Yeah.
Do I hear my mating call?
Yeah. And the more interesting thing, if you're a gunny, there is no locking mechanism between the breech and the barrel.
That's taking blowback a little far.
It's used as spring.
Yeah, it's taking blowback a
Yeah.
little far.
Now, how good was the spring? Not going to ask. It's called a wall. What the hell is it?
Warner Infallible.
Warner Infallible. Automatic pistol.
I've now that I see it, I've seen one somewhere before, but it is fugly.
Priced at $11.50.
Apparently, it was 15 shots of 32 ACP for what it's worth.
Yeah.
And it ain't worth very much.
3 1/4 inch barrel. Weighed 23 ounces. Yeah. I love this statement in the ad. It equals the best at much less money than others.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah, no shit. Hasn't that been true for a long time?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Rick. Designers have to go through all the bad designs to get one that works. Can we say Kel-Tec?
The Ruger's prototype division.
Yeah.
To just get on, and Ian's talking about mating calls. There was this 15-shot 32 that this guy put a magazine in and pulled the trigger and it went full auto. So I said that's obviously the ATF mating call. I hear my mating call.
Yeah, Nancy, that is kind of homely.
Kel-Tec. What was the joke? Is that guy running Kel-Tec bumps a line of coke off a stripper's butt and goes, "All right, guys, let's try."
It does kind of look like the OSS Liberator, but I would trust an OSS Liberator, which is designed to shoot once.
Yeah.
More than I would trust that damn thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Reason why I'm not in a Hawaiian shirt, I'm actually wearing jeans. And trust me, right now wearing jeans kind of sucks. Is I had a presentation on Rack Press for one of the local retirement centers. I had to get up early, go in and do that. So
And be presentable.
And actually be presentable. Apparently, if I had shown up in the dining room in shorts, the little old ladies would have strung me up. Gentlemen do not wear shorts to the dining room. Okay.
What?
I was going to warn you.
That just changed my whole approach.
Yeah.
You have to put on your formals. Yeah, pants. Front porch got up to 121 Tuesday at 5 p.m.
Wow.
That's not a sleeping porch.
No.
No.
Poor Kel-Tec. They wind up being Ruger's testing division.
Yeah. Some of their stuff is, I will admit, rather interesting.
Once you bump a line off a stripper's butt, you come up with some off the wall ideas.
Yes.
Most of them, we actually, Oleg Volk, we were out shooting, and Oleg Volk, who's got the end with Kel-Tec, bought a whole bunch of their prototype stuff out there.
Oh God.
And damn,
that friggin' carbine.
the carbine, the KSG, the Kel-Tec double tube shotgun. Because it's not only is it a double mag tube, but it's apparently they're still making it. It's a bullpup, so the action's behind the trigger, so it makes it a very short shotgun. And I told Oleg, I would no. He said, "Why not? It's pump action." I said, "When you're running the slide forward, if you have slick hands, your hand will slip off once you hit the stop, your hand will slip off. It'll be forward of the muzzle where buckshot's coming out of pretty quick." And told me not to worry about it. There was a plastic Picatinny rail for putting a vertical foregrip. Yeah. And the second time I cycled it, the Picatinny rail snapped and my hand went forward the muzzle.
Yeah. I never even picked it up. Well, I take it back. I picked it up, swung it once, went, oh, hell no.
Then there was a rifle forward ejecting bullpup. Again, cocaine's a hell of a drug. We were dinking around with it, and it had the worst case of primer wipe I've ever seen. The firing pin was dragging primer material all the way on the case head. It wasn't just a little teardrop; it was smearing the primer all the way on the case head,
and probably a 64th of an inch deep. It was deep enough that
something was wrong, and me and Gunsmith Joe were dinking around with it. Jim came over there and was looking at it, and he was about to fire it. Picked up one of the cases, went hell no, and walked away. I was like, what? And I saw the primer wipe. I say, Oleg, there's an issue here. This primer wipe is caused by the firing pin remaining stuck in the primer.
Yep.
Through the firing cycle, through the extraction and the ejection cycle, the firing pin is still stuck in the primer. So when the rifle kicks or the firearm kicks the case out, the primer being stuck drags, or the firing pin being stuck drags primer material.
Also does bad things to your firing pin.
Yeah, so there's an issue here. There are many reasons for primer wipe. None of them are very good. So Oleg had a private number, called it, and said, "Well, there's a gas regulator on the front. You just need to fine tune the gas adjustment." So we were firing, and bearing in mind,
from Garand,
it's going off under your ear. The whole primer wipe stuff is going off under your ear. So we are, because we're male, and Y chromosome removes 50% of your IQ points at puberty. Trust me. Ask me how I know. Joe and I are out there. We're firing it, and we adjusted the gas regulator so much that A, we were still getting primer wipe, and B, we launched the adjuster knob across the Colorado desert.
Never to be found, and that gun went back in the gun.
Straight back to Kel-Tec.
Oh yeah, Kermit. This made Glock primer wipe look like nothing.
Literally, there was primer material on the case head.
Yeah.
Out of the primer pocket onto the case head.
Yeah. Anyway, fun times.
Woo.
Oleg, bless his heart.
Love that man. Love that man. He's so very Russian.
Yeah. Has a negligent discharge and doesn't even realize it. More worried about getting the picture.
Well, he's trying to take a picture of a rattlesnake, and Jim finally reached up, grabbed his shoulder, and pulled him back because he was getting in with his macro. It's like pulling back out of striking range. Like, Oleg! That's that PMR 30. That's the little 22 Magnum. And we finally literally dropped it into a bucket of CLP and pulled it out, and it was dripping CLP before the damn thing would
cycle properly.
Properly.
Yes, sir. He is a truly nice guy.
He is a truly nice guy. He really is.
He just is lacking some attention to detail on some things. Like his own safety.
Common sense.
Yeah.
Literally, he was over the rattlesnake. It's grab, yank.
Yeah.
The rattlesnake was like,
the hell? Because, I mean, it was up.
Yeah.
Jimmy
Buzztail was up, cocked, and loaded.
Yeah.
When Jim grabbed Oleg, yanked him back.
Ah, yes, the fun times.
Love that man to death.
Oh, I do have one good piece of news today. The VA announced on Wednesday they are going to terminate all of the collective bargaining agreements with the federal unions.
Now that'll have the usual suspects all up in a lather.
Oh, yeah. Because what this will do,
all up in a tizzy,
is make it easier to promote the high performing employees and hold the poor performers accountable.
which is the VA's needed to do for ages.
Yes. The worst VA I have ever been to in my friggin' life was the main VA in Washington, D.C. I was there three times. Not a single time did any of my visit stuff get recorded in my record.
Unions,
All three times I was treated like a pariah. Why are you here bothering me?
How dare you?
Yeah.
The thing about unions is at one time they were necessary. At one time, there was a time when unions were necessary. However, the modern unions exist for two reasons. The first is to make their officers money. Have you ever looked at how much your union reps are getting paid for not doing anything? And the second thing is to keep incompetent personnel hired.
Oh, yeah. They would sue.
Yeah.
When the VA tried to get rid of somebody, they would sue for them to keep their jobs.
Yeah. They would go to the wire to keep incompetent people hired. If they were incompetent and dangerous.
Yeah. Rick says, did you feel like salt grain in a pepper mill? No, I felt more like rat shit in a pepper mill. Yeah.
Yeah. They will. I remember reading, and I've lost my mind. I read this article. It's been a decade or more back. This article about there is an unused school in New York. The building is unused, and there's a classroom on the third floor, which all of the suspended teachers go to.
Yeah,
you're suspended. You can't be near children because one of them.
Yeah, go ahead.
Had a pedophile conviction.
Yep.
He had sex crimes against children conviction, and because the union, he still had a job. He just went to this classroom on the third floor of an unused school building and read the paper from 9 till noon, and then went home and got a full paycheck.
Well, that was after, and it was $102,000 a year. That was after they found out and took his computer away, because he was going up there looking at porn on the computer.
But this apparently, like I said, this is a decade or more back. This classroom in an unused building where, keep the little bastards safe, the suspended teachers would show up at 9 o'clock every morning, twiddle their thumbs, staring at the walls, and then at noon go home, drawing a full paycheck because they've been suspended for good reason.
Yep.
And because of unions, the school system could not get rid of them.
Nancy makes an excellent point, too. Give job to their buddies, and all the older, experienced welders get maybe one garbage job a year. A friend of mine ran a company for a number of years outside of Chicago, small town. And it was a construction company, but he was not union. So he paid guys that actually were willing to work. And he bid on a contract for a power plant. And he was one of the finalists. So they called him in to interview him. And he said, they asked him, well, are you union? Well, no, I actually have people that do the work, and my bid is realistic because he was lower by, I want to say $5 or $6 million than the next bid.
Okay.
And they said, well, if we give you this contract, you have to take union people.
No, I don't.
And he said, no, I don't. He said, no, you don't understand. You have to have union people on the site. He said, why? And, well, for us to get their support for the contract, you have to put union people on the site. He said, but they're not going to do anything but cause trouble. And I said, well, that's on you to deal with. And he looked at him and went, to hell with this shit. I withdraw my bid. Walked away. He ended up closing his company because he would bid on projects, and the first thing they'd say is, are you union? And when he said no, they would automatically disqualify him.
The feds, there's a federal union for security, for federal security types.
Yep.
And the Pantex plant in Amarillo is union. Even though Texas is a right to work state, the Pantex plant in Amarillo has federal union, the security union. I was working at Asarco, which is a copper refinery down the road from Pantex, and they were hot and bothered to get us unionized. And we finally went through the process to get us unionized. And I started to get a little disillusioned when the guy that showed up to help us, to aid us in unionizing, was good about talking, didn't actually do anything, and that was his only job.
Mm-hmm.
He was a representative of the security union, did not work security. The only thing he did was go around and talk to people, and was making like $200,000 a year.
Yep.
From the union. The union was paying him $200,000 a year. And I remember when we did at Asarco finally got unionized, when we did, the security company, the contract security company, bailed. We were security guards working with contract, and the company that had the contract said, nope, you're union, we're out. And so the Asarco was bidding on new security contract, and we were there was a ACAL at the time, was a security outfit run by Sikhs, probably still is, and we was getting tuned up. We'd had a dust up. It was me and the union president and a couple of Sikhs, three Sikhs in the bathroom. And when I got out of there, it looked like a movie set. There was water spraying everywhere. One of the sinks was broken. All the stalls were down. I went to find the guy, the rep that had, talked us into this. And when I got him located, he was having a dinner at a very nice restaurant with a whole bunch of Sikhs.
Yep. Kermit's talking about his family, and this goes back to the 1930s in West Virginia, and where the term redneck comes from, because the unions tried to take over a bunch of mines in West Virginia because of a number of issues, one being they were losing touch. And apparently Kermit's family was in the middle of that. And he talks about his great-grandfather carrying a gun. Very believable. There were shootouts and literally warfare in the 1930s in West Virginia, where they had to bring in the military to quiet it down.
Well, between the Pinkertons selling services as strike busters.
Yeah.
The Pinkertons played both sides. They would bust strikes, and they would put the lien, depending on who paid them, they'd put the lien on people to become union. If the union paid Pinkertons enough, they would start leaning on people until they joined the union. And if the business owner paid them enough, they'd bust the union.
Yeah.
Yeah, What that?
Yeah,
I
company script.
Yeah.
That was another part of the
Oh, yeah.
issue. Was the company towns,
Company store.
company store, company script, and there was no way that the miners ever got any money.
Got out of debt.
They
So,
they
like I
ended
said-
up owing more
Yeah.
than they earned.
Like I said, there at the one time there was a need for the unions.
Yeah.
Company towns, company stores, company script was one of them. But these days, there's no need for unions. They're parasites. They really are.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep, Sarah, that's exactly right. I owe my soul to the company store.
Yep.
15 tons.
And
Yep.
what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt.
Yeah.
But so yeah, there was a time when unions were needed.
Yeah.
It ain't now.
Logging camps, yeah, out west and in the far north, Minnesota and Wisconsin were the same way. It was insidious because people had to work.
There's a bass singer that does a rendition of 16 tons. I forget what his name is. Yeah, deep. He's got a subterranean bass voice. Does a hell of a rendition of 16 tons. He's on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's not bother me. Hang on a sec. But I say good things about ACAL, even though bloody knuckles, because when I bailed at Asarco and went to Donnelly County.
Costellelli.
Yeah, Jeff Castellucci. When I bailed, ACAL, even though I wasn't working for them, and I'd done bad things to three of their employees, they gave me a severance paycheck and a high class, excellent recommendation to the sheriff and to Jimmy Thompson. And I just got done. Like I said, we had a hell of woo. I walked in and they were three of them were tuning up the union president, and I had surprise and meanness. And woo.
Yeah, Steve, Tennessee Ernie Ford did the original song.
Yep. Yep, he did. Jeff Castellucci does a bass version that's just wow.
Yeah, the Harmel union fight in Minnesota. Yeah, that the history of unions is pretty ugly when you really look at it. When they started losing power,
History is ugly.
Yeah. They were fighting to get that power back.
Or keep that power.
Yeah. Or keep the power. Just like when the mob took over the UAW. And, the big probability, we'll never know, is that the mob is the one that actually killed Hoffa.
Oh, I guarantee that mob killed Hoffa.
Yeah. Because Hoffa wanted to kick the mob out of the UAW.
Well, they weren't paying him enough, so
Yeah.
they wanted.
But in any case.
Speaking of the mob, is anybody else tickled pink that the investment corporations have ruined Las Vegas?
Yeah.
And investment firms, investment groups have done to the mob what the U.S. government couldn't. I love capitalism.
Yeah. They're saying that Vegas's tourism is down, 40%? Something like that.
Yep. The investment firms have ruined, have screwed Las Vegas and ruined the mob hold. God bless them.
Yep, because of accounting issues.
Well, they
want to account for every dollar.
Well,
every
not
dollar.
only that, but they've investment firms have taken out the Tropicana that Joe and Jane Public could afford with their kids.
Yeah.
And put in these high-end Bellagios with the Ruth whatever steakhouse, and it's $1,500 a night to go there when it used to be $35, because they were spending they're spending all their money at the casinos.
Yeah, and the bed bugs. Don't forget the bed bugs.
Now they're spending all their money just for a night in the hotel. Don't have anything left for the casinos.
Yeah. Now I haven't seen anything.
Bush flooding. Flooding.
Now, what are you talking about, Jesse? Fill us in.
But I saw an article about that, and I was laughing my ass off. These investment firms are investment. Oh, the bums. Yeah. The those of you who don't know, Vegas has a an extensive because it's desert.
Yeah.
Vegas is desert. So when the rain comes every now and then, the whole thing's a flash flood. So they have an extensive drainage sewer system under Vegas.
Yep.
And because rain doesn't happen there very often, they've got a massive homeless population living in the drains, in the storm drains. And then the rain hits, and they don't have a massive homeless population anymore.
Family friendly. The Midnight Ranch due for 2030. Yeah, right. That's a good point. NRW. Why go to Las Vegas when you can go to an Indian casino down the road? It's cheaper. The food generally is better.
Oh, there's good food in Vegas. It's just you can't afford it.
Well, and if you get one of the buffets, you'll stand in line for 4 hours unless you have reservations.
The investment firms turn Vegas into a playground for billionaires.
Yeah. And John Q. Public is not a billionaire. Viva Las Vegas. Yeah.
Flushes when it rains.
Differs, you ain't right, girl.
Foxwoods for everyone?
Oh.
I don't know. Don't want one. Oh, peanut ranch with it. If you go to the Racketeer Press Substack, we've decided to post a copy of our contract. We got tired of people asking if we were serious about being open.
So that's going to set the cat amongst the pigeons.
So we posted an example of our contract because my lawyer got an eye twitch. We stuck example only watermarks all over it. But no, our standard contract's up on Racketeer Press Substack. I did a brief, or Reed and I did a brief thing about it on Bug Scuffle. But if you've got somebody that's still wondering about Racketeer Press, send them to that post, and they can take a look at the contract and read commentary about it.
Which I'm proud to say y'all piggybacked off mine.
Yep. A lot of it.
Upfront and honest. I mean, that's the way we deal with people.
And start laughing. Get a giggling fox in the background, or a pair of them.
Well, it's a lot easier to remember the truth than it is, whatever set of lies you're using today.
Speaking of Substack, does Mike offer phone calls with throat clearing as a service? You're going to have to talk to him about it. I will say that so is a wonderful motivator.
Oh, Todd, I did not realize that.
Yeah.
Hotel prices are now dropping when they didn't sell.
Yeah, but they're doing $1,000 a night, and when they don't sell, but half the time they do sell because the millionaires and billionaires are happy to pay it.
Kermit, no comment. Foxwoods is
I'm not going to send it. We have a business. Reed and I have a business lawyer, very nice guy, a little odd, but nice guy. So, there's our contract. It's got example only written all over it, so nobody can run it off, fill it in, and swear that we signed a contract.
Yeah. But people will try.
Okay.
That's the thing. These, I'm not even going to start it.
But we're open, so if you want to look at our Antho contract, we put it out in the open. Have at it.
Yeah, Steve. Like any of us is really going to afford $35,000 a night for a room. It's. I mean, hell, we know people that would be happy to pay $35,000 for a house to live in, or a car that would actually last
It would run longer than 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a time when Vegas, the motel rooms were decent, but they knew that any money you didn't spend there, you were spending at the casino. So
Yeah.
they didn't charge exorbitant rates on rooms. Half the time, if you played it right, they'd comp you the room.
Yeah. We went out. That was in the 80s.
I've never been to Vegas.
That's a long time ago. Stayed at the MGM Grand, and I think we were paying $45 a night, government rate, because we were out there for a military exercise, and all the barracks at Nellis were full. So,
Yeah.
Tom, I will never forget when we went in. They put us over on the McCarran side of the field, so we're humping our bags through the regular terminal. And I look over, and there are slot machines in the terminal.
Mm.
And there's a bunch of little old ladies, obviously from New York with their accent, New York, New Jersey, with their accents, with their bags clustered around them, and they're feeding us 5-cent slots. They hadn't even gotten out of the airport to Las Vegas.
Las Vegas is, looking at it from the outside, there's always been this miasma of I don't want to say evil,
Yeah,
but misery. And
no, it was built on the backs of others.
Yeah. And I've never been there. I was planning on going for Author Nation, the 20 books to 50K offshoot. But I'm good.
Yeah, lost wages.
I'm probably never going to go to Las Vegas. There's something in the atmosphere. The people losing everything, committing suicide leaves marks.
Yeah,
it does, and it may not be physical, but there's a whiff of desperation that I don't particularly. I dealt enough with it. I don't need to go to a town built on it.
Las Vegas has pawn shops that will take your house.
I believe it.
Pawn.
I believe it.
And the cars.
Yeah,
and,
I'm good.
They will cheerfully collect it when you go broke.
Nope. I can spend that money a whole lot other ways to actually get stuff out of.
Yeah.
They didn't build the multi-billion buildings for the money visitors took home with them. You are correct, sir.
Yeah.
It exists.
Very correct, Joel.
It exists to take money away from people. And it exists to convince people to give them every last cent they have. And I just don't. Nah.
Richard, that would be interesting. Yeah, good point, Steve. Puzo just filed off the serial numbers for the movie The Godfather.
So I was coming in a $10,000 car or leaving a $100,000 bus. I think Joel said that earlier.
Yeah.
No kid. I don't. That sort of thing doesn't do anything. It's like.
Yeah, it left on a $1 million bus, but it wasn't his bus.
Oh, no. There are places that I just don't go.
Yeah.
Las Vegas is one of them. I've been it's like touring a slave market.
Yeah.
For fun. Why? I just try to go Tripoli, go to a slave market for the fun of it. Are you pay to go to a slave market? Are you?
Yeah.
Good man.
Yeah, that's
times in the past I've gone there with. Never mind.
Yeah. Not Wally, that may be true. But
there's happiness to be found, not the place you think, and prostitution being legal and all that.
Yeah. Mustang Ranch is not in Las Vegas.
Nope.
It's quite a few miles north of there.
It's outside Las Vegas.
Yeah. Steal it, Brian.
They're steal away,
Yeah.
freely given. Been too many of those.
Yeah. Well, let's get off that shit and on to something.
Something more cheerful.
I I have once again backed myself into a corner.
No.
I'm beta reading two people's stuff. I finished editing another friend's last night and sent it back to him. So I'm caught between trying to read and write. So I'm doing it in fits and starts. And last night, yeah, the Pinto Ranch from Cannonball Run 2.
Mustang Ranch.
It was not the Pinto Ranch. Mustang Ranch also is not anywhere near Las Vegas. It's up north. Not that I know where it is. Alan.
Library promo. What?
Yes. We are doing another library anthology this year. It's you donate the story and the money goes, whatever we make goes for the children's programs at the Tom Burnett Memorial Library. The title of this year's is Library Creatures. So you can play that any way you want to.
What are the stories do?
Huh?
What are the stories do?
Stories are due 30 September. Send them to me at oldnfo.org or oldnfo@gmail.com. I, for my sins, will be collecting the stories yet again. Brian, I'm not even going to comment on that. Differs, that would be a long time coming. Besides which, the library is already haunted. But I've backed myself into a corner. So trying to get out of one story into another story.
That middle switch is hard, isn't it?
Oh, God. It's beyond hard. So I grabbed something out of my Kindle to read. And it was Enemies Foreign and Domestic.
There's a pleasant read for you.
Yeah. Well, it got my mind out of the other
I'm
story.
sure it did. I'm sure it did.
But it got me thinking.
That's always fun.
Yeah. It seems to be awfully convenient. I gave up writing in favor of wood carving. That works too, Differs. If you can take keep the knives away from the kids or the chisels or the hammer and chisel. Yeah, Brian, it seemed very topical because it's interesting to note that every time the left seems to want to push something off the front pages, we have a shooting or we have a stabbing. And the deeper you dig into it, oh, well, they were on law enforcement's radar. I'm not going to say it's false flag. I'm not going to say somebody's pushing it.
Cock up before conspiracy.
It's cock up before conspiracy. But it sure as hell happens on an interesting timeline. And it's funny what stays in the media and what doesn't. One of the more interesting ones, because I was digging last night for something else and ran across this one, was the New York City shooter who got on the wrong elevator.
Yeah.
Wanted to shoot the NFL and ended up shooting other people.
Which I'm still.
Yeah. But he was on law enforcement radar.
Yeah.
And there was one mention that, oh, well, he might have been white, quote unquote.
Whatever.
He wasn't.
And you could tell that from the video.
Yeah.
The same video that media outlet looked at quite clearly showed he was not Anglo-Saxon.
So the story shifted suddenly to the guy that sold him the lore.
Huh.
So then it became a white guy selling a gun.
They found the white guy.
They found a white guy.
Steve Sky. That's like the FBI drove the terrorists to the con. If you're talking about the Jaw Muhammad Convention in Garland, Texas,
Yes.
he was following them.
Yeah.
The FBI agent was following two armed Islamic terrorists. What he was going to do when they got there, I don't know, but was spotted running like a striped-assed ape when the gunfire started.
And got arrested and then had to prove who he was and outed himself. And outed the fact that he had been.
You're in Texas and there was incoming fire. Are you surprised?
Yeah.
Seriously?
And the fact that he had been their quote unquote controller for over a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. The latest shooter was not an NRA life member.
No.
Fort Stewart
Yeah.
soldier shot 5 people. Suspect in custody because they dogpiled his ass.
The soldiers dogpiled his dumbass.
And he had smuggled his personal gun onto base. Interestingly, he'd just been caught with a DWI that the command did not know about.
Wow, I wonder how they
Which-
figured that out.
Yeah. Makes me wonder about what the command policy is at Fort Stewart.
Makes me wonder what the local sheriff's policy is, because
Yeah.
here at the sheriff's office here at Wichita, if you're a military member, we are required. There's a call every morning.
Yeah.
That we get from the provost marshal at Shepherd, or we used to. I don't work there anymore.
Yeah.
Shepherd would call every morning and say, "Hey, you arrested anybody?" And we had a list of everybody that got
Yep.
arrested, and what they got arrested for.
Yep. And that was always a policy with the military, wherever you were.
Yep.
Because I had one of my guys end up in jail. And I left his ass in jail.
Really? Especially since we're a Shepherd's a multinational base.
Yeah.
Drunk German pilots are not fun.
They happen on a routine basis.
Drunk German pilots, man, they are a pain in the ass. The fun part is when their colonel shows up to pick up their drunk asses. I had 2 German pilots, ossifers, get arrested for PI because they couldn't listen and wouldn't go away, so they got arrested. And they gave my kids cornbread hell, arrogant sons of bitches, and a pain in the ass. Well, we called when Provost Marshal called, and we let him know, hey, 2 of your German boys are out here. They apparently called the German colonel in charge of the German trading detachment. And these Hanyaks were just happy and loosey-goosey and arrogant and very German till they got outside. And their colonel was there in sweats and an unhappy expression. And they locked up with a quickness.
Oh, yes.
And then Shepherd is a long way from Central Booking. And when I saw them leaving, they were jogging beside the car.
He was going to sweat them in more ways than one.
Hey, sweating. He was screaming at them, and they were yowling left, right, and center. Yowl, my calling out. Yowl.
Yeah, military tends to get people's attention when they do something stupid.
It's all fun and games. So her orbit shows up.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Nick's 3rd serial just dropped. Yes.
Relics of the Fallen, the 3rd part, will be up for a week, and then it's coming down, and we'll launch the full novel.
Yay. So buy the serials and then get the novel. It's a good cause, folks. Feed the folks some decent cheese.
Yeah, no kidding.
Uh,
This is summer in the summer. Yes, I believe it was.
yeah, Germans tend to do things a little over the top when they get out of the country, because they know if they do that shit in Germany, the cops are not going to put up with it.
No, the cops will beat the brakes off of them.
Yeah.
And I was having to talk my kids out of beating the brakes off these guys.
Yeah.
Because they were right up to the line on At midnight, okay, folks, after midnight in jails, the jail staff grow fangs. Okay, um, and it was only the grace of God that I didn't have a bunch of my jailers line up and just tune these guys up. And they're stupid. They're German. They're stupid, but they're military. Please. And then her Oberst got there, and he screamed at them for about 15 minutes. And then, like I said, when he left, they were jogging beside the car.
Yeah, glitched glim is glitched
grim.
Ah. And it came from the pulp is now open. Both of those are now open.
Yep.
They used to call it Hun's Gone Wild. Yeah. And no, the German cops have no sense of humor.
No, they don't. They were the last agencies I know of that used to issue the spring batons.
Yeah.
Which is handle, spring, lead weight. And I'm here to tell you, when you get hit with one of those things, it's a religious experience. It used to be the West German police were the last people I know of that actually issued those things.
Yeah.
And they would use them.
Yeah, differs is bitching that they need a second house for all the books. Funny story. A friend of mine's father-in-law was one of the pioneers in robotics in the world. And he was also a pack rat.
It happens.
And lived in Florida. So he literally kept every magazine, document, piece of paper, book, apparently from his college days on.
Oh, nice.
And filled the house to the point that there were trails to get through the house.
Oh, God.
And when his daughter married my buddy, they bought a second house after they filled her former bedroom with books. Bought the house next door. And we're in the process of filling that up. But Rich said they went to visit because he would not come visit the kids unless he could do it on a trip.
Oh, well.
Yeah. I mean, he was that tight with money. And Rich got into a discussion with him about a particular aspect of robotics. And the old gent goes, just a minute, gets up and leaves. And he comes back about 5 minutes later and hands Rich an article that he had written sometime in the 1980s in a magazine. He had apparently gone next door, knew exactly where
in the piles it was.
Where in the piles it was, and what page it was on. When Rich got through reading it, and I got through talking about it, he took the magazine back, got up and left again.
Threw it right back to where he found it.
Put it right back where he found it, yeah. But bought an entire house because they ran out of room.
I remember responding to a hoarder house on a 911 call, and the wife was not in good condition, and I had to sling her in a fireman's carry and take her out the front porch because the paths through the piles, the head high piles of stuff, were so curvy the ambulance couldn't get the stretcher through them. So I actually had to get her a fireman's carry and take her out the front porch where the stretcher was.
We had that in Florida more than once.
Yep.
Older people, well, and I got to admit, my mother did it. She grew up during the Depression, lived through it, and she saved aluminum foil.
Yeah, ran it through the dishwasher, didn't she?
No, washed it by hand because we didn't have a dishwasher. Washed it by hand, folded it up, and reused it.
Yep.
And a number of Cool Whip
bowls, butter, Cool Whip, and butter containers.
Yeah.
The tan, I can't believe it's not butter tubs.
Yeah. And the jelly jars were glasses. And we didn't think anything about it. Because, that's what you did. You did whatever it took to get by. Anyway, folks, it's Thursday.
Oh,
so we're coming up on a weekend. So stay cool if you can. And yeah. All right, where was that comment? I just saw a comment I got to read now. 2003 cans of food when she passed. Yeah, Differs, that was not unusual. The only time you threw something out was if it was physically bulged. Yeah, save aluminum and Ziploc bags.
Yep.
Yeah, shredding cancel checks from the 1980s.
Yeah, I've done that.
Oh yeah. There were golden soft butter up here. Yeah. Save the box. It was a good box. Yeah.
We use box like that. Boxes filled with boxes. Yes.
Yes. That
You never live till you've got an empty 1 gallon jug of milk with a hole cut in it, so you stuff all the plastic grocery bags in it.
Yeah. I know people that still do that.
I do too.
Yeah. Not that I'm looking at one of them.
Don't look at me. All right, guys. I think
Yeah.
we've
Anyway, we wasted an hour of your time. Stay cool. And if you can't stay cool, at least have fun. And have a good weekend. We'll be back next week. And remember, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff.
be
We'll
safe,
see you
guys.
later.
All right.
Bye.